It's a fact of history that the nations who forget their past and do not remember, honor and commemorate their war heroes, their past heroes, ultimately they falter somewhere on the line and go down in history. Yesterday and today I was watching the commemorating services done by these. Right. It gave me thought to think. What should be the Islamic conception of remembering our past heroes, our past history? And in the context of the same, then I thought, then I remembered how the Shia peoples, they have about 150 remembrance per year, and how much cohesion it brings among their community when they go and their priests.
Yes, I understand your question, but tell me, how many times a day do you pray?
I try to pray 5 times a day.
So how many times during a year you are reminded of this?
But that is an individual.
No,
it's not by the state.
No. How can you call it individual? Wherever it is possible, a prayer in commune is held, in congregation. So it's not just an individual act. It is a congregational obligation. Only you are exempted when it is not possible to hold prayer in congregation. So fundamentally it's a social worship, a worship with social element involved. So Hazrat Rasul Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam has exactly said the same thing about these reminders. He says, how can you expect a true Muslim to go astray and become filthy spiritually when he attends to the prayer 5 times a day? His is the example of a person, according to Huzur Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who takes bath 5 times a day. So whatever dirt sticks to his body between the 2 baths is washed by the next one. And as a nightcap, just before retiring, he also has to say a prayer. And the first time when he rises up saying the prayer. I mean, verbal prayers and then formal prayer as well. So this is the reminder. Zikra liz-zakireen. For those who want to get a reminder, no better reminder and no oftener reminder could be given. The other things are just ceremonial, and sometimes ceremonies also work. So Islam also provides with certain ceremonies. Once a week, in sermons, in Jummah, that is a ceremony. And then Eidan, and then Ramadan Sharif. So things are according to the requirements. Political requirements are different. Religious requirements are different. Political reminders have to be in accordance with the requirements. So should be the religious reminders. So as far as the spiritual reminders are concerned, Islamic way of reminding you is quite enough. You can't even cope with that. What else do you desire?
So, my question was on a different lines.
Why didn't you tell me
My
before?
question was on a different lines.
I see.
See, these people, they remember their war deaths. They remember their war heroes. They remember their past in that way. We have taken a spiritual side. That is at its own place. They do not do any remembrance day on this matter. No, we do not remember our deaths in any way.
You
Those
don't?
who sacrifice themselves.
You
do
don't?
not.
We do. We have written so much on Sahaba of Hazrat Rasul Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Articles appear repeatedly in our papers. So much reminder is given to Ahmadis about the good old people who offered sacrifices. And every Friday I also remind you of the sacrifices which are being offered now in the living history. And the previous caliphs also did the same. And during every sermon, every Ahmadi scholar most often quotes the sacrifices of some people, some great men. of Hazrat sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's times or the times of Hazrat Muslim wasalam. This has become a part of life, so much so that we have been so familiarized that we don't take notice of this. It's happening constantly, and still you say it's not happening. So if you think there is something to be added to it creatively, you better write an article on this and submit it to me. If there are any useful suggestions contained, I will inshallah follow them.
Thank you, sir.
But don't just blindly follow others.
So I had in mind, the eternal flame they have, the brave of unknown soldier.
That doesn't make any difference to them whatsoever. The fact is that eternal flame, as compared to the constant burning flame of Ahmadiyya spirit, living in these hazards and fighting them out, how can you compare the two? There is absolutely a difference of antipodes between the two.